June 15th, 2026, Atlanta, Georgia. Spain should have won this game. They were the European champions and one of the favorites to win the World Cup. Cape Verde were playing the first World Cup match in their history. Spain had 27 shots. 27! But the ball would not go in. Because every time Spain finally found a gap, the same man was there. Vozinha, 40 years old, 7 saves, 0 goals conceded. Cape Verde had somehow held Spain to a 0-0 draw. Then the whistle blew. Vozinha dropped to his knees and started crying. Not because he had just stopped Spain. The real reason went back to the people who raised him. Within 24 hours, nearly 10 million people would follow him. A few weeks later, Lionel Messi would be telling him that his country should be proud. But none of that makes sense until you know how he spent almost 20 years while nobody was watching. Before the World Cup knew his name, he was a kid from Mindelo with a strange nickname and a dream that did not pay the bills. Vozinha grew up in Mindelo, on the island of São Vicente. His parents were often away working, so much of his childhood was spent with his grandparents. He was very close to them. Whenever he was outside playing football and got hurt, he would run straight back home to his grandmother. His friends noticed. And kids being kids, they started teasing him. They called him Vozinha, Little Grandma. The nickname never left. It followed him through 6 countries, almost 20 years of football, and all the way to the World Cup. But getting there was not glamorous, not even close, because Vozinha loved football. Football just was not paying him enough to live. So while he was chasing one career, he needed another job to survive.
Before the cameras and millions of followers, Vozinha worked as an electrician. He wired buildings, went to training, played football, then did it all again. There was no guarantee the game would ever give him anything back. He did not sign his first professional contract until he was around 26. Think about that. At 26, many players are already deep into their careers. Vozinha was just getting started. Then came the moving. Cape Verde, Angola, Moldova, Portugal, Cyprus, Slovakia, then Portugal again. Not because he was collecting dream transfers, because every move was another chance to keep the career alive. No Champions League nights, no giant transfer fee. He just kept going. In Cyprus, he finally found stability. 5 seasons, more than 100 appearances, a cup trophy, a respectable career. If it had ended there, most people would have understood. But by his late 30s, there was still one thing missing. He had represented Cape Verde for years, but his country had never reached a World Cup. Cape Verde had never qualified for a World Cup, not once. Then came the 2026 qualifiers, and Vozinha was huge. 7 clean sheets in 10 matches. By the end of the campaign, Cape Verde had finally done it. For the first time, they were going to the World Cup, and Vozinha was 39 years old. After the jobs, the flights, and years away from the spotlight, he was going to start at a World Cup. Then he saw their first opponent, Spain. However, as we already know, we saw what happened. What matters now is what occurred after it. Because when the final whistle went, Vozinha did not run around celebrating. He dropped to his knees. And later, he explained why. The grandparents who raised him had died years earlier. He wished they could see this moment. His mother was not there either. Visa and travel costs had stopped her from making it in time. So there he was, 40 years old, finally living the moment he had chased for years. And the people he wanted to share it with were missing. That is when people stopped seeing only the goalkeeper who had frustrated Spain. They saw the grandson missing the people who raised him, and the son who wanted his mother in the stands. And while Vozinha was still taking it all in, his phone was about to become useless. Before the Spain game, Vozinha had around 50,000 followers on Instagram. Less than 24 hours later, he was close to 10 million. 10 million. Brazilian broadcaster Case TV noticed his small following and told its massive audience to follow him. They did, and it was by the millions. The number climbed so fast that when Vozinha saw it, he just laughed in disbelief. One night earlier, most fans had never heard of him. Now, he was one of the World Cup's biggest stories. But here's the part I love. Out of all those millions watching him, there was still one person he wanted there more than anyone: his mother. Then, finally, the good news came. Her visa situation was resolved. She made it to Miami, and she got to watch her son play at the World Cup. After Spain, Vozinha cried because of who was missing. Now, one of them was finally in the stands. And Cape Verde's story kept getting crazier. They drew all 3 group games. No wins, no losses. Still through. The least populous nation ever to reach a World Cup knockout round. And waiting there was the defending champion, Argentina. July 3rd, 2026, Miami. Cape Verde against Argentina. On paper, this was where the fairy tale ended. Argentina were the champions, and of course, they had Messi. Messi scored first. Cape Verde answered. Argentina when he got chances. Vozinha kept getting hands to them. A free kick looked dangerous. Still no goal. Another attack came. Still Vozinha. With penalties getting closer, another Messi corner created the final breakthrough. Argentina survived 3-2 after extra time. Cape Verde were out. But even then, Vozinha's story had one more payoff waiting. After the match, he went over to Messi. They hugged, and Messi told him his people should be proud of how far they've come. Think about how strange that must have felt. For years, Vozinha had played in places where the biggest names had no reason to know him. Now, one of the greatest ever was telling him his country should be proud, and they were. However, Vozinha was about to see exactly how proud. 2 days later, Cape Verde came home. It was July 5th, the country's Independence Day, and nobody came back quietly. Hundreds of fans were waiting at the airport. Thousands more lined the streets. The team rode through Praia on an open-top truck toward a huge celebration at Quebra Canela Beach. Then, Vozinha grabbed the microphone. The crowd exploded. Just think about that for a second. For most of his career, he moved from country to country while the world looked somewhere else. Now he was home, and an entire country was shouting his name. Inside that 40-year-old World Cup hero was still the kid from Mindelo, who ran back to his grandmother whenever football hurt him. Except this time, he was not running home. He was coming home. At 26, Vozinha was only just becoming a professional. At 39, he finally reached a World Cup. At 40, he stopped Spain, became a global star overnight, faced Messi, and came home as a national hero. And the craziest part? He says he still wants to keep playing. So maybe this story is not finished yet. For most of Vozinha's life, the world was looking somewhere else. Then, in 3 weeks, it could not look away. If you made it this far, thank you for watching this one. It means a lot. Drop a comment below. What was your favorite Vozinha moment from this World Cup? And do you think he deserves one last big club move? This story reminded us why we love football. If it did the same for you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And if you enjoyed this video, you already know what to do. See you in the next one.